What's up? This is Chad. A few weeks ago on Twitter, I talked about using Trello, one of my favorite organizational tools, and especially how I build templates in Trello, and I utilize those for faster workflows and for better repeatable processes. So, as the host of Productive Pasture podcast, as the owner and moderator of the Productive Pasture Community Facebook group, which I'm going to link those in the description down below, I'm committed to providing quality content. And this summer, I began an investigation into better video content for the productivity community and for the ministry community as a whole. And so this video is just a kind of a sneak peek, a hint at what I want to start offering. So thanks so much for checking this out. And we're going to go on the Trello tutorial. This is the screencast of a Trello workflow. Before we get started, if you're looking at more Trello use cases for ministry, just go over to revchadbrooks.com/Trello. And I've got the stuff I've done there. So it's some blog posts, some Productive Pasture episodes, and that such. So you see these things going on right here. Some ways that I've used Trello. But today what I'm talking about is something that a question some folks asked me about on Twitter. It's about using templates for Trello. And it's a very a unique and an interesting thing. And so this is what's going on. So we're just going to cruise over. I'm just going to show you a little bit of how I use Trello. So I use Trello for everything. So I've got personal stuff right here. I've got stuff for annual conference, a capital campaign we're working on. We keep the church's social stuff right there very, very trim. We will close and archive boards a lot. I got Productive Pasture stuff here. A new podcast I'm working on. We're just calling it the Texas Worship Project right now. And then some Threshing Floor stuff. So that's how I use Trello in ministry. But let's get talking about the templates here. Okay, got lost there for a second. So if we look in Trello, we're going to go over here, and you see I have got a monthly preaching template. Now, we set these up at our church by month. We also date them by the year. It was because we used to just do by the month, and we realized that somebody accidentally got into a board that we could not close because of who started it, and they're no longer working at Foundry. And then we had some folks create content based off of a year-old sermon series, because this is what we use this for. This is not my sermon workflow. I do not plan sermons and prepare sermons in Trello. But what I use Trello for is communicating Trello to my whole team. So our youth folks, our kid folks, our worship leaders, everyone is aware of what the sermon is going to be like. So you see right here, this is our template, and this is the key. So we have the title of the sermon, who's preaching, the Monday moment. I am passionate about developing and preaching sermons that have reach and that reach into the week. And so that's the template that we use to go by that. We might not always have that constant repeating phrase, but we are always designing our services with that in mind. So Evernote link for notes, because I will drop stuff into Evernote for our teams to use if they're needing some like exegetical or some deeper level of study resources for what the sermon's like. I'll drop stuff in there, typically out of accordance, out of my Bible software. So there's the why. Like, why does this sermon matter? What is this going to change? Why do I need to know this? How is this going to help me? All that stuff. That goes right there. Then an image. So if there's a specific image that I create or that I desperately want for the sermon series, I'm going to put it right there in the special notes, additional actions. So what does this look like in a real use case? So I'll show you where we are right now on this. And I've always said, as long as I've done these works, that this type of thing is, I'm not the perfect person for you to pay attention to. I want you to learn from my mistakes. I'm just the least productive of the productive people, and that's why I do Productive Pasture. So here's August. So this is like, I'm literally working in this right now. So you see how this is being used. If you want to see something a little bit more fleshed out when we are doing Trello really well, it ends up looking like this. This is from a Jonah series that we preached earlier this year in March. And so you see just these full usage pieces right there. And that's just that template that I have set up. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to build another month of sermons. So monthly preaching template, I don't have November on here. I made an extra October during a trial run of this. So all you do is go to copy board. It copies it. November preaching 2017. And so that's there. So this now instantly turns into that. And the template still stays the same. So all it is a matter now is I don't have those dates ready just yet. So I'm just kind of going in there really quick and doing this. And I'll get those dates plugged in at a later date. And so that's how I run this template for developing Trello. Now, like I said, I use this for team communication. I'm not designing series inside of this, but also use some other templates. Our social template right here. This is our social media template. I share it with another staff person, and these are the posts that we're going to turn loose every single week around the exact same time. And we've been constantly developing it because we realized, like, here's a week where we did a little bit more like bare minimum social posting, and we see everything is plugged into the best times that we have learned for stuff to happen. And so what that template allows us to do is to go over here, social template. I'll make next week's because I typically do that on Thursdays, and that's when I'm recording this. So copy board. We'll go social schedule. This will be from 8/28 to, let me fire up the calendar on my phone here, to September 3rd. Now that is right there, and I can go in here and I can schedule and I can assign all of these things, and that's the typical rhythm that we have found out that works best for this. So if you want to get more into Trello, just go over to revchadbrooks.com/Trello, and you can find the use cases. You can also just go to revchadbrooks.com and check out the Productive Pastor, and this is the podcast that I run for ministry leaders and pastors to talk about time management, productivity, and living out the called life. So that's how I'm using Trello, and that's how I'm building Trello templates that saves me tons of time. And you can do it too. So just cruise over to Trello.com and grab that account. Like this. If you want more content like this, please subscribe to my channel. There's some more links you can check out. I do an occasional vlog, an occasional conversation on behind the sermon, and also post-productive pastor video and audio links here on YouTube. So thanks so much for checking out the channel.